The first day of the USL Championship playoffs presented by Hisense conclude upsets galore. And tonight at the champ, Orange County SC, who battled all the way from the bottom to the top. Now they're here, ready to welcome El Paso, hoping they're not the next victim. Joined by Jeff Antonella, the former goalkeeper, Mike Watts on hand. IPA Physio presents the Western Conference playoff bracket. There's no reseeding. San Diego and Phoenix are currently in action. What we do know is Orange County has the potential to host multiple games.
It's a big opportunity here for Orange County, and speaking to the coaching staff, they talked about how this late surge was enough to get them over the top. They got themselves in this position by playing hot at the end of the season, getting themselves wins when the points mattered the most, and now they see themselves in a situation where they're able to host these playoffs. It's a friendly confines here in Orange County. They're excited to be at home, and it gives them a good opportunity to have a deep run.
Yeah, against this El Paso team that Orange County hasn't slain since 2019. Back on April the 8th, it was Luis Solniak unavailable tonight, scoring in the 19th minute, a 0-0 draw in September. So El Paso seems to have Orange County's number. Does it matter?
I think it does matter. You talk about the matchups where it's great for Orange County to get this home field advantage, but if you're El Paso, you're going into this game with a lot of confidence. This is a team that you've played against, that you've done very well against. Orange County has not had a lot of success against you if you're El Paso, so while the seeding's great, the home field advantage is great, you still have to be able to show up and play against a team that you have not had a lot of success with if you're Orange County, which makes for an exciting, interesting matchup for us tonight in this first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, even a little controversy between the teams this year. What's not controversial? Milan Alosi, our Omega accounting player to watch. He's been truly spectacular.
He has been one of the best players in the league. You're talking about an Orange County team. He leads the team in goals. He leads the team in assists. The team runs through Milan Alosi. For them to have a deep run, he needs to have this continued success in the postseason.
Same for El Paso with Benny Diaz.
Benny Diaz. It's going to be an important role tonight for the goalkeeper. You're going on the road in the playoffs. He's had big-time saves throughout the season, 93 saves on the season. Expect for him to have a big night for them to have success.
And expect El Paso's Eric Calvillo to feel the pangs of past memories. He won the championship final in 2021 with Orange County. Now he wears an opposing shirt as OC reaches the playoffs for the first time in 2 years. They've sold out the champ tonight. This one's going to feel just a little bit different. El Paso goes away to Orange County, and we've got this Western Conference quarterfinal coming up after these messages and a word from your local station.
From north to south,
east to west,
from Laguna Beach to Irvine,
de Buena Park a San Clemente,
and all 34 cities in between.
For the last 10 years, this has been
Orange County's own
entertainment, community,
Campeones, Colors,
Crest, Pro Soccer Club.
Orange County's own Community Kit.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
This match is presented by Hoag, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC. By Omega Accounting Solutions, your ERC and tax specialist today, your trusted advisor tomorrow. and by Northgate Market. Our food from our family to yours. Ready to roll here. Orange County taking on El Paso. Kimco presents the Orange County starting lineup led by Morton Carlson. They've made changes. Brian Alosi, Thomas Among, Marcus Knockham are back.
Orange County dealing with a little bit of suspension issues in this one. This is the team that they're going to roll out. Look for this team to press a little bit higher up the field and really try to set the tempo in this game early. They want to have El Paso drag them out of their shell. So look for this team to press, look for them to be on the attack early and try to flip El Paso's counterattacking play into an offensive attack here for Orange County.
All right, conversely for El Paso, they are entirely unchanged from the team with a 2-1 win at Oakland that sealed their playoff spot.
El Paso likes to play the game a little bit slower. They like to be methodical in their build-up. Look for them to play in their shell a little bit more, especially on this big field that Orange County has. This is the lineup that we're rolling out tonight. Look for them to be in their shell. Look for them to have that counterattacking style of play. Look for Cavillo in the midfield. He's going to be an integral part of making sure that the defense is organized, making sure that they're slowing down this Orange County attack.
Natalie Simon, well-traveled referee, will oversee the match tonight. And Orange County and El Paso ready to kick off the final game of 6 on opening day of the USL Championship playoffs presented by Hisense. Diaz and Shuttler to their goals. Natalie Simon blows the whistle. Here we go. At the champ in Orange County, number 2 seed OCSC. Welcome El Paso Locomotive, the 7 seed.
This is a very tactical matchup that we have here, and I think this is why the problems that El Paso has given Orange County, because they're a little bit more methodical in the way that they play. They're going to make Orange County try to break them down, where Orange County is going to try to throw numbers at the ball. They're going to try to press really high and try to flip them over really quick. It's been a tough challenge for Orange County so far in this season series, but you know, the playoffs are a little bit of a different animal. They have the home field advantage on the bigger field, so good opportunity here for Orange County to kind of right the wrongs that they've had against El Paso in the past.
Rolled over by Powers. El Paso in the series all time now, 6 consecutive unbeaten. Last Orange County win came in 2019. Scott knocks it wide. Among able to bypass the hulking Dolenmeyer. Among and Dolenmeyer look like just completely like a foot difference.
A little bit of yin and yang there in the size difference.
Incredible, really. Among plays back. We've already had a goal tonight in the 32nd second of a game. It's Orange County that starts on the front foot, kicked away from Dogman.
This is an important part of the game for me, because if you're Orange County, you want to use this home field advantage. You want to use the crowd at your back. And if you're El Paso right now, it's just all about weathering this initial storm. You know that Orange County is going to come out with a lot of energy, using this home field to every advantage that they can. Weather this storm, let the game settle down, and try to build into it as it goes. These playoff games are always intense, especially if you're the home team. You're going to be pressing hard, so it's going to build into this game. And here are my keys to the game for this one. If you're Orange County, I want to make sure that you're staying compact defensively, because you don't want to extend yourself too much. You're going to press, you're going to be on the attack, but making sure that when you're in defensive, you're able to get numbers behind the ball so that El Paso can't turn you over. And if you're El Paso, you need to be clinical. The opportunities that you get, you're going to have opportunities in this game, and when they come up, you need to be clinical in that final third so that you can take advantage of them, because I do think they're going to be few and far between. But if you're clinical and when you create those opportunities, it makes it a lot harder for Orange County to keep those leads, and especially if you're El Paso, you just want to build into this game and create those chances and make sure you're making the most of them.
Those keys to the game are brought to you by Patterson Auto. Benny Diaz walks it forward. What a campaign. Tied 5th in the league, 10 clean sheets, and among the busiest goalkeepers as well. Diaz once more put under pressure by Jamison and Among, and he'll float it into what essentially has become an owner's box now, as a new fundraising, crowd-raising campaign starting for OCSC this past week, opening up ownership to fans not only in the country, worldwide. I'll show you the parade they put on pregame later in the match. This gets out for a throw.
It's a cool initiative. Everyone can get a piece of the team if they want it, and you know, it's a good way to build that fan culture, but also it's a good way to get more people involved in it, more interactive. It's a great thing that Orange County's doing.
Scott trying to flick it through. Oakland and Detroit have done that previous. Rolled over by Powers. Powers has to try and cut that off. Did so, plays it long. That's mishit from behind and a vital stab backwards for El Paso. Lions.
A little bit of nerves here from El Paso in the back to start the game. I think that this has happened sometimes in the playoffs where it's almost like that overcompensation. You don't want to be too excited. You don't want your adrenaline to be pumping too much because you want to be able to still play your game. But it's almost that casual, calm, relaxed effort that, you know, gets you in a little bit of trouble. You want to be up for these games. You want to be calm and relaxed, but at the same time, you cannot be complacent, especially in the back, especially against a team like Orange County who wants to press.
Diaz launches this 3/4 field length coming off his line. Shuttler has really settled the job, got there before Sinupe. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Zulfgari Law. Chata still unavailable for Orange County. Agaluz, but most notably Luis Solniak out with a leg injury tonight.
Yeah, that's a big missing piece for El Paso. Of course, when you're on the road, you need to have your goal scorer. You need somebody that can flip the game on the turn of his head. They're going to try to fill that role with other players, but it's tough to fill that space that Solniak's going to be leaving.
Ball in behind, header toward goal, toward the line, flicked upward, away, and handled by Diaz. Oh, wow! Ryan Dogman almost forced that over the line.
Exciting action here overall, and it's just over the top. It's route one. He's able to find his space to find behind the defender's end, and then it's just panic defending here from El Paso. What a clearance off the line, able to get his head on it, and it's McHugh off the line, able to clear that ball out. A little bit of panic defending there from El Paso, but that's a great route one ball from Orange County, and that's what I'm talking about defensively for El Paso. If you're El Paso, the urgency hasn't been there to start these first 5 minutes. If you're in the back, a little bit more urgency. You got to be switched on to these runners. You got to be switched on to these things that are happening. This is the playoffs for one game. One goal could change the entire course of the game. El Paso's defense has got to wake up, and they have to switch on, but that's a good last-ditch effort there to make sure that the ball doesn't go over the line.
McHugh's awake.
Yeah, he's awake. He's awake. He almost headed the post, which would have made him very awake, but he does a great job keeping that clearance out. And if you're Benny Diaz, you got to be a little bit more decisive coming off of your line. You're kind of caught in the middle of no man's land. You're either coming out and clearing that ball, or you're staying home and making sure that you're dealing with the effort. But good job covering for his goalkeeper there.
Another look at that sequence a moment ago.
He does a great job. McHugh does a great job recovering for his goalkeeper. His goalkeeper's off his line, and not only is he able to nudge that forward out of the place, he's able to win that header. He bangs it off the post, and Diaz is able to recover it. But that's one player on a route one ball that's able to beat them behind the lines. It's just an easy chip ball over the top. You have to be a little bit more switched on for those runners and give a little bit more depth so that one ball does not beat you guys as an entire back four.
Here's the aforementioned McHugh, the 22-year-old Swede. All given away cheaply off the reach of Scott.
On the flip side, if you're Orange County, you have to be able to take advantage of this moment. El Paso, you can tell in the back they're nervy, they're turning the ball over, they're not finding the spaces, they're not quick to recover. If you're Orange County, you got to take advantage of this home field advantage early on. Try to swarm them a little bit, really put your pulse on this game early.
Lamb playing in. Orange County, arguably the best team in the league since Morton Carlson took over. 15-4-2 in their last 21 games. That is 47 points in 21 games.
Well, I enjoyed our conversation with him because it was a conversation of when he took the team over, he wanted his star players to step up. He wanted to see things done a little bit differently. And when he took over, he found ways to make the personnel work. It wasn't sticking to a system. It was, let me find out the best ways to put these pieces together. They got a guy like Milan Alosi, more touches on the ball, to get him more involved, to figure out how I can best suit this formation. And he's had a lot of success doing it. So credit to him as a coach for making the proper adjustments that the team needed.
Big line of orange flying, whistle blows. Free kick won by Among.
Among does a good job here. He gathers the ball in the midfield and he's able to drive at the back line. He's able to create some, you see his first touch is a positive touch forward and he drives at the back line, puts them under pressure, does a good job drawing the foul. And here we have Orange County with a dangerous set piece in an early part of this game.
By the way, deserving kudos to Nicholas Murray, who chose McHugh as the young player to watch for El Paso in the playoffs. No kidding.
Nicholas Murray, longtime friend of the program.
Yeah.
He was doing stuff for when I was in high school. He was doing stuff for me when I was in high school.
Wow.
Down in Tampa, Florida, yep.
Well, there's a lot of showmanship to what's about to happen here, and Orange County has been extremely focused on set pieces, knowing this game would be tight. Now it's put in play to the back post. Header snapped down right at Diaz.
Oh, the design of the play was there. Instead of giving it to the goalkeeper, you want to see that header go back to the far post. Look at the header. Look at the runners that Orange County is able to create on the far post here. It's straight off the training ground. They find the ball on the far post. If he's able to head this ball back across the goal, they had the numbers on the far post. Straight off the training pitch. I like what they're seeing out of the draw up here. Trying something a little bit more different than just dumping the ball in the box. You love to see that early on.
Yeah, Morton Carlson told us as a coach and as a staff, oftentimes there's no better feeling than seeing the set piece you worked in training come to life. They got the look they wanted, they just didn't convert it.
These coaches, they love to spend so much time. They draw them up. They're like football coaches. They draw up a specific play. They want it to work to execution, and when it comes off, there's nothing more exciting as a staff when you spend all your time drawing up these little plays. But they had the look there. They definitely had the look. If he was able to get that header back across the goal, I think that might be a tap-in, but unfortunately, it doesn't come off.
As a goalkeeper, you're thinking, enough of this. I'm tired of just getting my body pounded all through training all week working on this stuff.
Yeah, practicing set pieces for goalies isn't fun because there's usually no defenders.
Lamb pushes forward, and this ushered back to Diaz. Giant PK save against Oakland. 93 saves for Brian Clairhout's men. What a job the 37-year-old Medford, New Jersey native has done this year. He came in from Sundsvall, where he signed, among others, Ronaldo Damas off this Orange County roster in 2022, along with Forrest Lasso out of the championship. It didn't play out the way he hoped at Sundsvall, but showed up here at El Paso after such a brutal campaign under Hutchinson last year. And El Paso goes from an 8th place finish last year to 7th this year, but a lot of optimism about what they've done.
Well, the story of El Paso this season has just been, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. I think that the one thing that they were lacking was just that consistency.
Offside flag has gone up on Sinupe.
But as you're able, as a coach, as you're able to build that reputation, as you're able to build with the group, that consistency, those things will come. When they're hot, they look like one of the best teams in the league, but when they're not, they look like one of the weaker teams. So just finding that consistency and hoping that your team is peaking at the right time is such an important part of making a run in the playoffs.
And if you're going to play such a nuanced style, that's going to happen. It's not always going to look great if it's off by just little slivers.
Yep, exactly. So you want to make sure you want to make sure that you're building this, and he's doing a good job of building this team, building the program really, and really putting his stamp on what this El Paso team is going to look like.
Powers played the big ball forward. That is out of the reach of Dogman, who has been everywhere on this line tonight, including nearly snapping a header at the top of the 18 over Diaz. That's Rose. Pressure from Orange County converging.
Good job there by Rose, breaking that initial line of pressure, so he's able to get his team going a little bit more forward, making that Orange County press almost not irrelevant, but bypassing that Orange County press so they can establish this possession up the field.
Big ball over the top. That's settled inside the 18, pirouetting backwards. Navarro.
El Paso did a good job getting through the first 10 minutes of this game. Orange County was throwing numbers forward. They had a couple different opportunities, a couple different looks, but El Paso did a good job weathering the storm. It took a couple last-ditch efforts from the defense, and now look for them to establish their possession in that methodical build-up that we talked about.
Rolled over by McHugh. Carried along by the giant Dolemeyer. All the way down to Shuttler. So far in the Western Conference, it's been chalk. San Antonio very late on, now a 1-0 lead over the Switchbacks. Sacramento has taken the lead on New Mexico in the 1-8 game. In the East, it was all upsets in their 3 games. Louisville, Detroit, and Birmingham all go on the road and knock out higher-seeded competition. Comes down to Scott. Remember when the West used to be the wild part and the East was, you know, pretty much right down the line? No longer. Cross into the penalty area. That header snapped well off the mark by Among.
For me, this is where the game gets very interesting when you see these types of setups where Orange County has to try to break down the block. That's where the game gets a little bit more interesting to me. Watch them move the ball side to side, try to use that width, try to get crosses into the box. That's going to be the way to get by El Paso's block defensively. If you're Orange County, you want moments like this where you can turn them over and catch them on that quick counter. But when the game's in a block, when El Paso's able to defend with their numbers behind the ball, that's where you need to see the creativity from Orange County. That's where you need to see guys trying to break lines, different things, getting the ball wide, finding crosses. But that type of game plays a little bit more into El Paso's hands. So it's a little bit interesting in this type of chess match when you're talking about how these two teams like to play.
That's quite the dissecting ball. Brian Alosi. Head spinning. He's got Calvillo behind him, his former teammate. Ball knocked down. Dolomar came forward. It's Alosi still. Leaves it back. It's Scott. Alosi cranks this to the backside. It's out of the reach of Dogman.
That's the right idea. He found that space, but you're right. That was a great ball from the center back to break those lines to find Alosi. He was able to get the ball wide, try to create a little bit of something. We're taking another look at it here. Alosi does a good job picking his head up, finding that outside, finding that runner on the far post. He had a good look, maybe just a little bit too far. If the man continues his run, he could be able to get on the end of it. But earlier in that sequence, you're right. That's a great ball to break the lines.
This is asking a lot of questions. Alosi took it away and kept off the foot of Jamison. And that will rattle out for a corner.
Diaz really lucky here that he didn't get punished for this. It's just way too casual here from the goalkeeper. If you're standing on your goal line, you cannot play a ball like this. Chip to your center back who's under pressure. You need to drop your body in, settle the ball, take your first touch, pick your head up, and notice what's going on around you. Just way too casual in a playoff game for something like that to happen.
Numbers flying, True Path Loans corner. That is away on the effort from Brian Alosi. It is a throw to come, but a knock behind the play.
I don't want to harp on it too much, but because I was a goalkeeper, in those moments when you're receiving the ball in that back line, you always have to check your shoulder. So if you're Diaz, you receive the ball, check your shoulder, make sure you know where the press is coming. There was no pressure on him. Take a touch. You have plenty of time. You're the goalkeeper. There's nobody pressing you. Take your touch, open your body up so you can see the entire field. The last thing you want to do is try to play one of those lazy balls, especially across your goal box. But even if you connect with the center back, it puts him immediately under pressure, which ultimately is going to hurt yourself as well, because then you're already switching into that panic mode. So take your touch, take your time, especially when you're playing with the ball at your feet or along your goal line.
And Orange County is putting so many numbers forward into that press. They felt like El Paso was the first team that really figured them out.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to the coach about the way that El Paso was able to find those different gaps, able to find those spaces in the midfield, which, especially if you're a goalkeeper and you know that the team's pressing like that, you could take a touch and you could break lines yourself. It doesn't always need to be just so side to side. Take a touch, pick your head up, look for those gaps so that you could break those lines and bypass that initial pressure.
Now Roland Gomez got it wide. Mark Navarro has come inside. Push from Dogman. Free kick, El Paso.
Good job here, moving the ball side to side. It's a big touch in. Dogman definitely makes contact with him. You don't want to defend like that. You want to keep forcing them inside to your midfielders like that, so you're not diving in and giving this team a dangerous opportunity in this spot with a set piece. But you talk about road teams on the playoffs. Set pieces and dangerous spots matter so much for road teams on the playoffs. These are great opportunities to get something out of nothing. So you got to be careful if you're Orange County drawing these fouls in these tight areas. But if you're El Paso, you want to take advantage of these opportunities anytime you get them.
Petrovic, what a cultured foot he has! Diving header, steered off the frame. Dolenmeyer launching a 6'6" torpedo at the ball.
you cannot draw up a better free kick than this. He draws the ball low across the box to his near post runner. Dollenmeyer gets that flick on it, does everything he can to try to sneak it into the far post, but that's great service there on the free kick to create an opportunity for the big man.
Man, how good is Petar Petrovic?
That's a great ball. That was a fantastic free kick.
11 goal contributions this year. The former Serbian and Swedish youth international. Brian Claerhout said, I played against him for many years. And you see firsthand all the qualities that he brings. He says if not for an ACL injury, this is a guy that was playing, or on the verge of playing Champions League football in Europe. And here he is, first round of the playoffs, nearly making such an incisive step for El Paso. Pulled down by Jamison, who may be on an international stage, unparalleled in short time. Waiting to hear if he's part of the World Cup squad at the youth national team level for the U.S. Scott. Scott. Racing in. It's not been clean enough. That is another unforced error of a corner from El Paso, and this is very unlike them.
For me, the defense of El Paso so far, it's just been a little bit too casual. You want to see them wake up a little bit. They need to have that sense of urgency because Orange County's throwing these numbers forward. You can't be giving up opportunities like this, especially cheaply. If Orange County's going to get corner kicks, you want them to earn it. You want them to earn it through good play, not just sloppy defending. But another opportunity here for El Paso to defend well, but Orange County has a good opportunity as well.
Drew Pathalone's corner, header. Will go all the way across the face of goal and out. You know, it's interesting watching how different teams approach set pieces. You'll see man and zone and sometimes a mix. Feels like everyone's man except Dollenmeyer, who goes wherever the ball's headed. When you're 6'6", sometimes it goes that way.
Yeah, one of those go and get the rebound if you see the ball bounce. Don't worry about boxing out, just go and get the rebound. No, that's a good place for him right in the middle of it. But a lot of teams do that man marking with the zone. It's funny, El Paso does that. Just go win the ball if you see it coming in the air. But a lot of teams you'll see, they'll do that man marking with the man on the front post, so the service has to clear the ball. Everybody has their different strategies for what works best on set pieces. What's right, what's wrong, who knows? Whatever's having success at the time.
As a goalkeeper, did you have a preference?
I always enjoyed having a guy. So I had a guy at the near post, standing on the near post. I enjoyed having a guy at the front of the six, and I enjoyed having a guy on the top of the middle of the six. So that way I had my near post covered in case somebody headed the ball back to the near post, somebody was there to clear off the line. The service had to clear that front guy on the front edge of the 6-yard box, and then I had somebody in the middle, usually my taller guy, my 6'5" guy, who was protecting the middle of the box for me, and then everybody else was man marking.
Well, it's all about you. I see how it is.
Well, when I got my way, it didn't happen much.
Yeah.
But if the coaches asked me how I wanted it to get set up, which didn't happen very often.
No. McHugh knocks it over. 22nd minute. 2-seed Orange County, 7-seed El Paso. The 7 and the 8 upset wins in the East tonight. Detroit and Birmingham knocking out Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. And with it, the path for Orange County to host the championship final has opened up massively. It's Sacramento, then it's Charleston, then it's Orange County. It requires them to get there, of course. Rose. Orange shirts all come together. That is a foul. And Kasipli brought him down.
Good job here by Rose using his body, but if you're Kasipli, you can't draw this foul here. You have so many numbers around the ball. There's nowhere for Rose to go. He gets his arm in there, which allows him the opportunity. That allows Rose the opportunity to try and draw that foul. Was it necessarily as bad as a foul as it looked when you're watching it live? Of course not, but you get your arm in there, you're nudging a little bit, you give Rose the opportunity to make that fall, kind of make that, put it in the ref's hands, and now it's another dangerous set piece here for El Paso. Really creating something out of nothing there with that foul.
Petrovic. You can see 15 in the middle of your screen. Tallest guy in the box by a full head. He's got a mong at his waist. Petrovic to the near post, taken out of the air, rolled wide. And that popped out kindly for Lions.
I love this service here on this free kick. Make life hard for the goalkeeper, make life hard for the defenders. Drive the ball to that near post. There's a lot of bodies in the box. It can take any type of deflection. You drive it with pace and anything can happen.
I think that Calvillo is in the right place.
If you're Orange County, knowing that El Paso is able to get this type of service on these set pieces, you have to be very, very, very careful fouling around your box.
That's a foul against Dolenmeyer. Acquired on loan from LAFC 2 in Next Pro.
Just goes a little bit over the top. Looks like he had an elbow to his back. Tough to blame him. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. His elbow's a little bit taller than most, but just goes through his back, and again, it allows the opportunity for the attacking player to take a spill, which draws a set piece.
Alosi feigns. It's open back there, it's high! Dogman. Time and time again, he's had chances on this near side off service, and he crushed that.
We talked about it. We talked about it with the coaching staff. Well, they've been drawing stuff up. They've been in their bag when they're talking about drawing up set pieces, and it's another one straight from the training ground. They're able to find Dogman on that late runner up to the far post. It's great service, and they do everything right except getting the shot on target. You can tell the Orange County coaches have put a lot of work into these plays, and if they keep drawing them up like this, one of them surely to pay off.
Header snapped down and kept away from Aaron Gomez. El Paso, multiple conference finals in their early years. Mark Lowry off to Indy. Hutch came in last year, didn't stick. Brian Clairhout hoping that from a low seed they can make that run. This was always the goal, to get back here into the postseason. Curling over the top, ball through from Milan Alosi. Among chasing, Diaz came out. Referee says got the ball.
Yeah, Diaz got to the ball first. He got the body after the fact that he touched the ball, but you keep seeing Alosi popping into these pockets right in front of that back four. It's so dangerous when he gets the ball there and he's able to turn. Gives him such an incredible ability and space to create.
Came to Herrera. Chapa whittles out of pressure. Navarro. Sold out crowd tonight. This will be the home for Orange County another 10 years. An enormous announcement from the city of Irvine earlier this week. CSC officially can begin to make a whole new multitude of revenue streams and really just plant their roots at this home.
And that's what it is, right? They're turning it into a home now. They have the opportunity to build on what they've been doing with the great fans that are showing up, and you know, they're talking about the importance of able to put in signage and just things up around the stadium that really make it feel like they're home, which is important when you're trying to build this type of culture.
Yeah, they'll throw up those banners along the side, but in the past they've had to peel them back up at the end of the night. That won't be the case moving forward. Really exciting things to come. Ball across the face. Calvillo's coming. He would have taken his own player's head off if he had really gone for that. Ball through. And this from Sinupe lands it. Shuttler. Best way to ensure you're here for all the action of OCSC's 2024 championship campaign is by joining our season ticket holder family. OCSC season ticket holders not only get their tickets at the lowest price point, but they also receive a merchandise discount, access to exclusive events, and an exclusive gift. Place your $50 deposit today. OrangeCountySoccer.com USLLeagueOne.com/season-tickets to get started. High arcing ball in behind. Again, that touched away. Free kick won by Orange County, and that's going to come with the first card of the night. Dolenmeyer playing a little bit closer to his drafted home out of Thousand Oaks, having played at Oxnard and then San Bernardino, eventually at Fullerton.
Yeah, and he just gets here late on this challenge. You can tell he takes this last-second lunge, trying to win the ball, but just gets in late. And this is a big factor in this game. You're talking about one of your biggest defenders, one of your biggest presences in the box. On a yellow card in the first half, it's going to change the way that he has to play the game because, of course, you don't want to be picking up that second yellow. So, tough situation there. He's trying to make a play on the ball, but just gets there a little bit late.
SoCal Gas yellow card to Dolenmeyer. This almost looks like it's just your standard set piece. Aimed toward the goal mouth. Again, Diaz didn't really get all of it, did he?
He didn't.
He didn't get any of it. Knockham was running through, and injured player down for Orange County at the end of it.
Yeah, Diaz comes off fishing a little bit off of his line here. He's not able to make contact with the ball. Gets more player than he does the ball. Throws off the back post a little bit here. If he's able to settle this ball, I think he has a good look on goal with the goal empty like this, but he does a good job. He does a good job settling the ball here, but if you're Diaz, it's been a little bit shaky here in the back. You're a goalkeeper who's had a very good season. Playoff action adds a little bit more pressure though. If you're coming off your line like that, you need to make sure that you get a piece of the ball.
So Among is down.
That's always a difficult part. Of course, I'm always team goalie, right? Team goalkeeper union. That's what we do. We stick together. But
sure. When
you get all body like that, when you get all body of a forward attacking player, I understand the argument of where's the call, where's the foul? You made a play for the ball, but you didn't get the ball. If that happens anywhere else on the field, I think that there is an argument to be had there. Of course, my fellow goalkeeper union, I always stand by you. But at the same time, I think that if you're making plays like that on the ball, you got to make sure you get a piece of the ball, because if you're getting all player, it puts a player in a dangerous situation, and at the same time, he's only making contact with the body, which if you're anywhere else on the field, that's a foul.
Yeah. The athletic training staff chatting with Among here. Also now taking a look at Diaz. We'll take another look as well.
It's a pretty nasty collision here. You see Diaz, he's making a play on the ball. Him and Among come up one-on-one. Oof.
Like he doesn't get any of the ball, does he?
He doesn't get any of the ball. So I understand that you're making a play on the ball, but I do think this is something that soccer will take a look at, because that is a foul, and that's not fair for the attacking player to be going up like that, going up for a challenge on the ball, and you don't get to the ball because the goalkeeper runs into you and doesn't make any contact with the ball either. So I know it's a tough one. I know it's a tricky one. Anytime you have these 50-50 balls and the goalkeeper's coming off their line, you want to protect the goalkeeper. But at the same time, if you're going to come off your line like that, you need to make contact with the ball, because if you wipe out the attacking player, that's a foul anywhere else on the field. So
now, based on the I'm trying to find the right word for it, jelly that they're rubbing on Among's head, you'd think there's some kind of cut there. They're trying to close up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nasty collision.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Among, I mean, he's coming in full speed. Diaz is coming out at full speed, and they're both making contact. They're both trying to get a touch on the ball, but at the same time, you're talking about two pretty big human beings coming together and colliding like that. If that's going to happen, you want to make sure somebody at least gets contact on the ball.
He's back up. That's a measure of good news.
I mean, if you're a goalkeeper in that situation, you're taught, put your knee up to protect yourself. So when a forward comes running into you, like, they don't want to come back. That's what we tell people. But at the same time, if you're a forward and you're running into a knee and the goalkeeper's not able to get contact with the ball, then you want to be protected as well.
So Among comes off for the moment. For those unfamiliar, there are leagues professionally in this country that still have more than 7 available subs, which comes off of the COVID rules. Not the case in the championship. You get the 18. If you go to extra time, you get a 6th sub. You can still use the concussion sub, but the reality is you can't go unless you're using a second goalkeeper, heaven forbid on both sides. Then ultimately in the playoffs is kind of a hollow rule to some extent, the ability to get that 7th concussion substitute. Hopefully not necessary in the case of Among, but it would not utilize a substitution moment. Both teams would get an additional moment. Both teams would get an additional sub before extra time, which would allow for 6. Good news is Among doesn't have that problem at the moment. It's good to see him back on.
It is. He's an important part of what they're able to do.
Huge.
He does a great job with the press. He's able to break lines defensively, and he also just causes chaos for the center backs consistently throughout the game.
Withstanding the challenge. Dogman making the run. This will drag him wide. He has been all over the place tonight. And in this instance, ball caroms out for a corner.
It's good off-the-ball movement here from Orange County. You see Alosi kind of dragging that space. He makes that run to the center of the park so that Dogman can make that overlapping run and get him in a 1v1 situation, create another dangerous opportunity here on the set piece.
The latest True Path corner kick. It'll be Owen Lamb this time. Former Galaxy 2 player. Starts for the 25th time, crosses the 2,000-minute plateau for the year here tonight. Orange County on their latest set piece. That'll send Brian Alosi circling, and rather than trying to recycle off the bat, he'll throw. 35 minutes gone. Scoreless in this game. There are goals in both the other games that started before us in the Western Conference. San Antonio from Hernandez have knocked out Colorado Springs. Sacramento at halftime with New Mexico. Connor Donovan from Rodrigo Lopez have gone ahead 1-0. And tomorrow night, Peace de Resistance. It's the matchup that corresponds with this, the 6-3, Phoenix and San Diego. Bursting into the penalty area, this will carry him wide, and Jamison will take it to the corner. He'll keep it in. Jamison dancing toward Petrovic. Alosi, now Jamison inside Brian Alosi once more. Got away from Gomez. Tried to work the give and go, wheeled back, taken on by El Paso.
A little bit of a two-man show there. It almost comes off for him. Would like to see him recycle that ball if they could, but two creative players trying to make something out of nothing.
Dogman. Knock him. Got the night off last time out. Going away to Monterey Bay. Didn't know if the 2 seed would even be available to try and grab. Orange County got that little extra motivation once it became clear that it was in their hands. But they did know they were getting at least one home game, and ultimately chose to rest substantial players. Brian Alosi, Thomas Among, and Marcus Knockham. Seemingly doubly prescient since they were able to not only secure the 2, but losing Kevin Partita, knowing that they'd need some players in different roles tonight. Out with a red card suspension garnered at the end of that Monterey Bay game. Nearly through from Among. Pressure from Scott. They'll bring it back. If you're El Paso, do you contemplate making changes 15, 30 minutes into a 90-minute game when you haven't conceded, but you've looked a little bit rocky? You're starting to find your sea legs, but you don't want this to get away from you because that one goal can be it.
I think so far that they've done a good job of doing the little bend but don't break situation here. I think that if you can, you try to get yourself to halftime, regroup a little bit, and realize that even though Orange County's been on the front foot, if you're able to get to halftime at a 0-0 score, you've weathered that initial storm. You understand that Orange County's going to start pressing. They're going to start throwing numbers forward. So I think you let the game dictate itself a little bit more. Try to make it to halftime. Try to get to halftime at 0-0. Go into the half room. Go into the locker room and say, you know what? We know that we didn't have our best, but at the end of the day, we didn't get hurt from it. See if they can regroup, get back into their formation, see if Orange County's going to open up themselves a little bit, and then you start bringing on those players that can make a little bit of a difference and bring on that energy for you.
Trouble, Gomez, Shuttler got just enough. Ron Gomez, one of the most exciting players in the league. Only 6 goal contributions to show for it this year, at 13 a year ago. Fans, still time to go check out all the new merch for 2023. A new women's collection, new sweatshirts, and a new OCSC quarter zip. Head over to OCSCshop.com. Grab yours tonight. Locomotive trying to keep the train on the tracks. Alosi slashes that wide. No player in the league has scored more goals the last 2 years than Milan Alosi, but despite winning the Golden Boot last year, didn't make the playoffs. And now with his impending transfer over to Nordsjælland this coming offseason, it's his first playoff game for County, and he hopes not his last.
It's a great opportunity for him to kind of put his stamp on what he's been able to do with Orange County, and you could tell the second that he took that touch and picked his head up and he had that much space, he almost couldn't believe it, so you could tell he had eyes for the net there and wanted to do something special, which when you have a player like that, you don't mind it. But anytime that you get the opportunity to put your stamp on a club in the playoffs especially, it's an opportunity for a player to look forward to.
Ball in behind Diaz. There's the whistle. You know, that's a goalkeeper taking care of the forward. That's,
you know, he gave him a little love this time. A little love, gave him a little hug. Made sure nothing happened. But this is good goalkeeping here from Diaz. He's able to read this play early, and he's on top of the through ball fast. So Among's a little bit off the back shoulder of the defender. He is offsides, but good pickup there from Diaz, reading the situation and knowing that he has to be off his line to cut out that through ball.
And even better from Diaz to give him the big hug that ensures that there isn't another collision as we saw earlier.
Yeah, nobody likes to get run into, so nice when we give him a nice little love tap, little hug on the way in.
Yeah, Among got the worst of it, but it's not to say Diaz enjoyed the experience. Jamison is pressuring. This will come to McHugh. Forced into a long ball. Sinupe plays it down. Aaron Gomez pours away with the ball. Calvillo knocked it wide. El Paso into the final third. Tough slide. But El Paso retains. 41st minute now. Rose. Dolenmeyer, Rose once more. Bypasses Herrera. That's out of reach.
It doesn't come off, right? It doesn't happen for El Paso on that sequence, but that was really the first time that you saw Sinupe able to get that ball, regain possession, and allow El Paso to get up the field so that their possession is happening towards the midline instead of in their own defensive half. So it's a good job there. If you're going to go route one to your target forward, you want your target forward to be able to hold the ball, hold the defenders off, and reestablish that possession so everybody else can get up the field. That's the first time we've really seen El Paso be able to do that tonight, but that's an important part of what they want to do offensively.
Foul from Rose.
He's been all over the place in the first half so far, hasn't he?
Yeah. And they really like the partnership he and Calvillo built over the course of the early parts of this season. It's certainly carried over. Diagonal ball, Scott. That is some acrobatic stuff.
Yeah, they needed it too. That was an important win.
All the while given away to Aaron Gomez. Gomez at full bore. There's Scott again. Now Orange County's quelled the threat, and suddenly they've got numbers. They can get forward fast enough. Jamison and Among front running. And the better option is to hold.
Good job from El Paso getting numbers behind the ball there. That's what Orange County is looking to do, turn you over and catch you on the counter. But El Paso with a quick recovery defense, making sure they're getting the numbers back behind the ball.
Not shocking, right? This El Paso team does so many of the little things right. That's been the fun part of watching them grow this year. Not only as a possession team, but the fundamentals are excellent.
Well, that's what makes them so frustrating to play against if you're Orange County, because if you're Orange County, you're a team that wants to go fast. You want to be able to play fast. You want to get those balls and go. But if you're El Paso and you have that recovery defense like that, and you're able to get numbers behind the ball, this is what you make Orange County do. You make them try to pass around you. You make you try to break lines, which Orange County is at their best when they're able to gain that possession and go quick.
This El Paso team tied for second in the league in road points attained. And over the course of this year, when they score first on the road, 8 different occasions they've done it. And they've turned it to max points in 7 previous occasions. The first goal, enormous because El Paso can so quickly transform. I spoke to Brian Claerhaut about it and his experience in Sweden. He goes, 1-0 in Sweden is a masterclass. It's a little different than in America where they want to see multiple goals and run up the score. And if you get a goal in Sweden, it's unacceptable to fail to take all three, no matter what the score line ends up being. And they've carried a lot of that over here.
I love that logic, because then if technically you're right. If you're up 1-0, you should be able to defend that lead and make it more of a tactitional game where you make the other team have to break you down. So, and you can see that in the way that El Paso plays. They get numbers behind the ball so fast. They're able to regain that possession, but get numbers behind the ball so fast and make the other team have to break you down, which, if you do it right, it's very, very hard to do from an offensive standpoint.
He did tell me on Sirius XM, though, he did want to get back to America, in part because he wanted to coach the American competitive spirit again.
There you go.
I don't know what that says about the Swedes, but he did go out and bring Forrest Lasso into that group, so I think he had the right idea.
The American competitive spirit. That's what we got, baby.
That is. We have that in spades. Ball through, that got denied.
But it's little things like that, just cutting out passing lanes. You see the runner, they cut out the passing lane.
Oh, wow. Clean win of the ball. Going down top of the area, free kick. This is dream real estate in Southern California. And is the first one a foul? Here's question one.
Yeah, I think the ref misses one here, and it leaves the gaps open for. But credit to Orange County, Alosi found that gap in front of the back four. But this initial one here is a foul. El Paso's right to feel hard done on this one. The referee misses this one, but credit to Orange County for finding Alosi on top of the box. It's a little bit of a tricky touch to be able to draw that foul in a dangerous area, but if you're El Paso, I think you're right in knowing that you got a little bit hard done there on that initial no call.
So the no call doesn't go your way, and then Aloski's back heel kicks up and catches the contact too. So if you're an El Paso fan, it has to drive you crazy. Into stoppage time, 3 added minutes.
This is always the worst spot for me as a goalkeeper, because it's almost in the middle, so you don't really know where to set your wall. You're not really sure the amount of numbers that you want to have. Do you want to have so many people in the wall that it makes it very, very hard for the attacking player, but it makes it hard for you to see if you're a goalkeeper? Or do you want to leave less numbers out and give yourself a little bit more time? This is a really dangerous spot for a free kick.
Knockham walks away. It's a brother's quarrel as to whose shot this is. Milan Alosi! He's different. He really is. Orange County leads.
You always knew it was going to be Milan Alosi on this one. He does a great job. Puts it to the goalkeeper's side, but he puts it with so much pace. There's so much action in front of the goalkeeper that Diaz has no chance. He's able to drive it hard to the goalkeeper's side, and if you see Diaz takes a couple steps to his right, he's guessing a little bit because of all that action in front of him, but Alosi puts it on target, puts it with pace, puts it low. Tough save for a goalkeeper, especially as Diaz is cheating over to the one side. Great goal in a great moment. He's able to draw the foul, create the goal for himself, and he finishes it off with a nice free kick.
And Milan Alosi, another one. 39 goals the past 2 years, playoffs and regular season. A direct free kick in what could be his last game in Orange County.
Talk about him wanting to put his stamp on this team in the postseason. Well, we just saw that there. He's able to draw the foul, and then he finishes off for himself 20 yards out on a nice free kick.
You know, there's very few sports where it's acceptable to move on to your next step and everyone knows about it and yet still finish out the campaign. And such the case waiting for the winter window to open that Milan Alosi didn't want to be in bubble wrap. He wanted to leave this better than he found it. Well, the only way to do that is to take it all the way. He joined right after they won the title. They plummeted to the bottom of the West last year despite his Golden Boot winning campaign. And when Morten Carlson took over, Jeff, you and I called one of those first games for Morten, and he said, I need more from Milan Alosi because I watched every game last year. He won the Golden Boot, and I still knew there was untapped potential in this young man.
When we spoke to the coach on the coach's call this week, it was a conversation of Was it Alosi stepping up? Was it the team trying to adjust and figure out what needed to happen for him to really tap into it this year and really rediscover that self? And, you know, credit to the coaching staff. They adjusted for him. They found the formations that worked to make sure that Alosi was getting on the ball in dangerous spots more consistently, and you've seen that it's paid off. And since they've been able to do that, Orange County's been one of the hottest teams, one of the best teams in all of USL.
He is him. Milan Alosi does it again. A truly unique commodity in this league the past 2 years. And in his Orange County playoff debut, a goal to remember. Gnarly loves it. An incredible save off the line from McHugh. A shaky start for El Paso. And as they bounce back, Orange County finds a remarkable go-ahead. IPA Physio presents the halftime, and it's coming up next. You love our county. You built our club. We are OCSC. Now own it.
Patterson Kia, where it's all about you. Hi, I'm John Patterson from the brand new Mission Viejo Kia. Don't pay over MSRP for your Kia in Orange County. At the all-new Patterson Mission Viejo Kia, there are no addendums, no add-ons, just amazing customer experience and upfront pricing. Experience the difference, Orange County, at Mission Viejo Kia, online at missionviejokia.com, where it's all about you. Patterson Kia, where it's all about you.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there's no one better at getting you back to you. Orthopedics and spine, it's all we do.
One of the main treatments we work on with the players is treatments that focus in on lower extremities. We want to make sure that we maximize flexibility and minimize stiffness in the hips and legs. During the session, we incorporate stretches, IASTM, percussive therapy, and cryotherapy. The session is really tailored to the needs of the athlete being treated.
Recovery is a crucial part of every athlete's performance.
We're excited to be working with OCSC again to help the team recover throughout the season.
You love our county. You built our club. We are OCSC. Now own it. Meet the owners, all the owners. For just $100 or less, you can become an owner of this Orange County soccer club that so many around Southern California, around the world have helped build. Best way to ensure you're here for all the action of OCSC's 2024 season by joining the season ticket holder family. OCSC season ticket holders get their tickets at the lowest price point, orangecountysoccer.com/season-tickets. With Jeff, Mike, we've got all kinds of highlights from other games. How about we start with this? Detroit taking on Pittsburgh. This lead up from Ruiz, multiple chances for Detroit, the 8 seed who got in on the last day because Miami couldn't take out Sacramento, get this stunner to win it.
I was on the call for this one, and Detroit did such a good job here of weathering the storm and just taking care of Pittsburgh attack. Gasso with an absolute finish. And they did a great job holding on there late in that game, too. The goalkeeper had some clutch saves.
So down goes the East number 1. How about the 4-5 game? Memphis hosting. This is 32 seconds into the game. That's the second fastest goal in the history of the playoffs off the chest of Bruno Lapa. Nothing Zimla can do. 1-0. How about this sweet finish from Lancaster?
Does a great job here on the corner kick. Just redirecting it. You see all the power comes from the corner kick. Does a great job redirecting to the far post, all through the traffic. No chance there for the Memphis goalkeeper. And this game really got off to a hot start.
And, well, those were the only goals. First and 19th minute goes to Pens. And this, the brutal concluding moment, glances off the post.
Oh, you always feel bad for the player in that moment. He does a great job, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, but just not able to put that shot on target, and Louisville survives.
And they'll host Detroit as a 5 seed. How about Tampa Bay and Birmingham, the 2 seed and the 7 seed? Opening goal for Birmingham, all of a sudden, Tampa Bay can't quite believe their luck. They're in trouble.
That's a great finish there. Across his body, nothing that the goalkeeper can do there. Takes a little bit of deflection off of the center back. Good ball here from Birmingham across the box. Just poor defending here from the Rowdies. They have runners running late. People able to get behind the back line. Good finish here for Birmingham, and really just a nail in the coffin here with this one. Another late runner, finds a far post, and that's all she wrote for the Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight.
Tabor Taka and Wegbo and Kasim, 3-0 Birmingham. Down goes the 2. This is just concluded. San Antonio and Colorado Springs. Switchbacks go down. It is Hernandez in the 55th.
Man, you live and die by this playing out of the back sometimes. San Antonio does a good job pressing, making it hard for them. Goalkeeper does not realize that the number 6 has under that much pressure. San Antonio does a good job. Oh, don't want to hurt yourself celebrating. Don't want to hurt yourself celebrating, but you got to always respect a little bit of celebration, have a little bit of fun, but don't hurt yourself there.
Playing out of the back has gone wrong. Roro Lopez missed a big chunk of this season. Right place, right time. Lays it on Connor Donovan.
Man, great finish here from Donovan. It's a good cross in, but he does a good job bouncing off the ground, making it impossible for the goalkeeper, finding that far post, tucking it in right into the corner.
1-0 Sacramento. That's in the 65th minute over New Mexico. It's 1-0 at halftime here in Orange County. Alosi, a stunner. We'll show it to you when we come back. Halftime is presented by IPA Physio.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The battle starts today.
Wheeler tries to help it along. It's Enriquez in the middle. It's Jairo Enriquez! Oh!
Cuejo! Oh my! Now, it's time to fight to the final whistle.
And beyond.
And the crowd is losing it here.
It's time to put it all on the line.
It's time to shine.
I'm Jay, and as founder of Omega, I understand that as a business owner, you've got a lot in your mind. Let the tax credit ninjas at Omega get you the money. It's rightfully yours. It's not too late to score big on tax credits, but you gotta act fast.
Welcome back to halftime. It's presented by IPA Physio, the official physical therapy partner of Orange County SC. With Jeff Attinell and Mike Watts, let's keep the entire scoreboard in mind to get you caught up on action around the championship. Memphis goes down in penalties. Pittsburgh goes down with the late Detroit winner. Birmingham thumped Tampa Bay 3-0. San Antonio, the first team to advance with the home field advantage. Sacramento are well on their way as well. Scoreboard brought to you by Euro Soccer Trips. The upcoming schedule for tomorrow, 2 games. They're presented by Destination Irvine, San Diego and Phoenix. That one could be the end for San Diego. It's one of the great rivalries in the history of the league.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one. San Diego with so much to play for in that locker room. When you're talking about Phoenix, Phoenix is a team that started to come together midway through the season. They took their lumps, but they really started to hit their stride, and they started to figure out what they want to do as a team with their new coach coming in. So excited for that one. Should be a good one out west. And don't sleep on the game in the East either. The Eastern Conference so far has been a little bit nutty, so don't be surprised if things get a little bit crazy out east tomorrow as well.
It is packed here tonight in Orange County. Fans taking a moment to breathe. We hope you do too. Come on back. IPA Physio presented tonight's halftime coverage. Orange County leads El Paso 1-0.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
When you are killed by a drunk driver, you become nothing but a stick figure on a police report. Your death will be a story never to be told by you, and justice will never be served. Last year, nearly 13,000 stick figures were drawn by officers after a drunk driving fatality. It will take everyone to eliminate drunk driving, so that no one ever has to tell your story from a police report.
This half of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Noah Benadou Foundation. NBF wants to remind fans to never drive drunk and get home safely. Let's take a look at our halftime highlights. They are presented by Turf Gym, located in Newport Beach. This was a common look early. Dogman, incredible recovery by McHugh.
Dogman does a good job getting behind the back line. McHugh just saves the ball off the line, but it wasn't just a save off the line. He's able to nudge Dogman on this run here. You see him make a little bit of contact here to prevent the goal, and then here's the effort here. Heads the ball off, clears it off the post, and ends up in the friendly hands of Diaz. Avoiding a little bit of chaos here, but we saw that from El Paso early. It took a little while for the defense to wake up. Here we have a yellow card here. The big man drives his elbow into the back here, drops the yellow card, which leads to the free kick. And then we talked about the Orange County coaches drawing things up for his team off the set pieces all week long, and they've had a little bit of luck here throwing things to the far post, and unlucky there not to get the one on target. But here's the goal. Here's the one that we talked about. And El Paso fans have every right to be feeling like they're a little bit hard done here. Clearly a foul here that the ref misses, and he flips it on the other side. Alosi draws a foul on the back end on top of the box in a dangerous spot. If you look at it here again, right in front of the referee, she doesn't make the call here. Of course, that's her discretion, but to me that looked like a foul. And on the back end, Alosi draws a foul here and just sets himself up for a dangerous spot here for the free kick. Diaz gets caught leaning, gets caught cheating a little bit to the wall side. He has to do a better job protecting his spot, but Alosi, knowing that there's a lot of traffic in front of that, drives the ball low, puts it in a tough spot, and put his stamp on this game here in the first half. Will El Paso have a response? We'll see here in the second half, but good stuff here from Orange County. But if you're an El Paso fan, I understand the hard feeling going into that halftime, giving up that goal, especially with the no call there from the referee.
Yeah, you see Diaz trying to look around the wall. You've got 6 guys between you and that ball coming around. He doesn't move until it's well past the wall. Tough moment for Diaz.
Yeah, it's tough. When free kicks in that situation, for me as a goalkeeper, we're always some of the hardest because you set up your wall, and if you're a goalkeeper, you have to have faith that your wall is going to do the job. So you set up your wall knowing that you have to protect your half of the goal, but it's hard because you think that if he does go over the top of the wall, you want to try to help your team, and the best you can do is try not to move, try not to cheat. Unfortunately for Diaz, he takes a couple steps to the wall side, which catches him leading, which means the pace from Aloski's shot, there's no chance he's going to be able to recover from that.
Upward and onward, El Paso and Orange County head into the second half here tonight in Southern California. Orange County has not beaten El Paso since 2019. 2-0-4 in the previous 4 seasons now. Brian Alosi catching a shot to the shin. El Paso, multiple Western Conference finals, trying to get back to that extraordinary level that they achieved as an expansion team, the foul from Rose.
It's going to be interesting to see how El Paso handles the second half. They're a team that likes to defend, they like to sit in their block, but eventually when you're down 1-0 in the playoffs, you're going to have to open yourself up. Eventually it's going to have to come to that point. So I'm interested to see how El Paso handles this. When they decide to kind of switch that gear from we're going to defend in our block to, okay, we got to open ourselves up and expose ourselves a little bit more so we can try to chase this goal.
That's a foul, eerily similar position, just a little further out than what concluded the first half. And it's well drawn by Among.
Tough to see what happened here. Among does a good job. He's holding up his defender on the back post. Oh, just a handful of jersey here. He does a good job. Showing him with his body, but McHugh just has a handful of the jersey. Easy call there for the referee when you see that jersey leaving the attacker's body.
Repeat.
This free kick's a little bit deeper, so I think it gives Diaz a little bit more time to react. But it also gives Alosi the opportunity to go up and over the wall, which he didn't have in the first one. Assuming he takes the kick, which I would lean to think that he will.
Natalie Simon sets the tone at the wall. The County Line Coalition, boy, has it been a rough year. Orange County thought they lost their home. Now they've got it for 10 years, and those fans there are a big reason why. They showed up at the city council meetings time and time again. Knockham will walk away, and the build-up to this free kick looks eerily similar. The Aloskis, plural. It's Milan Alosi again off the wall, and leads to a corner.
Good job there from the wall. You could tell that Alosi wanted to go up and over, but nice little head to get in the way of that one.
Someone paid a price for that.
Yeah, everybody always says that goalkeepers are crazy, but guys that have to stand on the wall and take shots from 10 yards away directly to the head, I always thought that was a little bit crazier than what goalies have to do.
Yeah, I think it was Dollenmeyer that paid the price.
That makes sense. He is the tallest head in the group.
Yep. True Path Loans corner kick. Brian Alosi angles, header down. Oh, Diaz! That is miraculous!
What a save here from the young netminder. That ball had absolute eyes for that far post, but Diaz, he's able to get that push, and he's able to get that hand to it. What an incredible reaction save that is from the young man.
Oh, that is incredible stuff from Benny Diaz. An open header from 6 yards.
Such an important save, too. You go down 2-0 this early in the second half. Such an important save here from Diaz at this moment in the game. Coming off of a moment where he was a little bit shaky in the first half. That's a big-time reaction save from the goalkeeper.
It was Jamison all the while. Well, those are your fans, buddy. All right, here's a look at Jamison rising.
You see Jamison, he gets his header, puts it directly towards the far post, but Diaz holds his ground. He doesn't lean. He's balanced and makes an incredible reaction save, able to read the ball off of his head. Holds his ground, big push off that front leg, able to get that big bear paw on it, push it wide. What an incredible save and an important moment here from Diaz. That'll do wonders for this young man's confidence in the second half.
Enormous for the former Tijuana goalkeeper who played 5 games in Liga MX down in Mexico, got loaned to Oakland last year, acquired on loan for this year. Taken by Orange County. They're in now. Diaz got a piece again. Saving El Paso's life. It's still on here for Orange County. What in the world?
You can tell he's playing with confidence now. El Paso turns the ball over. Diaz is in a good spot. He's able to close down Alosi. Not easy to do.
Option on the backside, Dogman. Orange County, they smell blood in the water. Lamb. Kasipli. Now they take the foot off the gas.
Such a big-time save there again from Diaz, keeping his team in it. Last thing you want to do is go down 2-0 on the road in the playoffs. But again, it's that El Paso defense. They're a little bit lackadaisical with their possession. Just needs a little bit more sense of urgency. But if you see Diaz, he's staring down. Alosi does a good job staying balanced, staying true to his positioning. Hold, wait for Alosi to make a move, and he's able to get his foot on it. Great bit of goalkeeping here in the last 5 minutes from Diaz.
And Navarro gets bailed out.
He was a little bit shaky in the first half, but this is why he was my player to watch. You knew that coming into this game, Diaz was going to have to make big saves to keep his team in it. And here in the second half, he's been up to the task, and hopefully this gives El Paso a little bit of energy that they need to kind of settle themselves back into this game.
Got away from Gomez. Picked up by Scott. Now the options backwards. Sinupe sniffed that out. Shuttler. Patrick Gurkovsky leaving the club at the end of last year, heading to Phoenix. Shuttler filled what had been a revolving door. Foul, free kick. It's a very late whistle. Scott chopped down from behind.
Yeah, this is the right call here. You can tell, just goes right through his body there, Scott. Makes an attempt at the ball, but if you're going for the ball here, you can't go through the player's body like that.
I assume that's more or less the conversation that was just had with Lions.
Yeah, made an attempt at the ball, Lions did, but when you go through a player's body, you're going to get that call every time.
Among thrashing.
This game's getting a little bit chippy here.
We've hit that point of the playoff game.
It's always bound to happen at some point. Yeah, Mong just giving him a nice little forearm shiver. Dangerous situation for the defender to be in, running at full speed, getting a forearm to the back like that, but just two players trying to make a play on the ball.
Lamb and Calvillo jostling for position. Brian Alosi rolls. Scott pirouetting inward, and now through. It's off the back heel of Milan Alosi. If it runs through, he's through.
Great little turn there from Among.
We've seen Among take some enormous steps this year. Was a good player at Colorado Springs in 21, scored some goals, but just a different level.
He's been a difference maker tonight as well. You can tell that everything he's doing with these center backs, he's keeping them on their toes. He's making good runs behind the back line. Even though he's not showing up on the score sheet, he's putting in the hard work that tires out these center backs, that tires out the back line, that creates those opportunities right in front of him for Alosi.
Sinupe comes back to Shuttler. And the frustration's bubbling now. It's Navarro through the back.
Yeah, as best they can. El Paso needs to calm down a little bit. You can tell that they're so upset over a couple of calls that Havoc on their way, but the last thing you want to do is let your emotions get the best of you in these moments, because there's still a lot of game left. You're only down 1-0. You haven't played your best football, but at the same time, don't let the ref, don't let those decisions that didn't go your way dictate how you're going to act for the rest of the game.
Interim coach for Orange County looks on, Morten Carlson. You could make the argument he's the coach of the year in this league. He took over a side at the bottom, right with Las Vegas, and put together well over 2 points a game since May.
It's really been a different team since he took over the leadership role and was able to put his stamp on it.
Well, and of course everyone remembers in Orange County land in 2021, it was Richard Chaplow taking over from Braden Cloutier and leading the team to a title with a similar kind of run down the stretch. There's a lot of 1-0 games. This has just been really aggressive football from Orange County since Morten Carlson took over. That's wayward from Alosi. And meanwhile, El Paso down a goal, starting to plan their subs. Castician preparing to come in.
This feels like a good time for it. El Paso really hasn't come out in the second half and looked really on the front foot. Bring out some fresh legs, see if you can inject some new energy into this game.
Dolenmeyer. Orange County start to advance. Ryan Alosi. Kasipli. Alosi. Wide for Lamb. Alosi, good ball through, settled, blasted by Milan Alosi. Got it right. Ball cut across.
Talk about Among doing some of the dirty work tonight. He does a great job laying that ball off for Alosi. So not only is he running behind and creating chances like that, he's able to build up in the hold-up play as well. So important to have a player that can do both things for you as an attacking team.
Rose pushes outside. Here comes El Paso. Hangs a crossover. Petrovic in all his glory. Calvillo. Attack largely silenced tonight from El Paso. This is good as they've looked into the final third. There's the cut across. Orange County's denied it. Still it's Navarro. Two shots, nothing on target. Expected goals, 0.05 from El Paso tonight.
That was a little bit better, though. They're trying to establish that possession a little bit higher up the field. It hasn't been easy for them tonight to get on top of the ball and really settle this thing down, but we saw a little bit of a spell there where they're able to get the ball wide, get a cross in, just slowly start chipping away and get yourself back into this game if you're El Paso.
El Paso preparing to make a trio of subs. They'll do it all here in the 58th minute, and here it comes. Chapa Herrera comes off. That's Dennis Castician coming in. One opposing coach made it really simple. He said, I would love his left foot on my roster. Castician's got some special talents. We'll get Knudsen in off the bench. And Nick Hines as well.
Full slew of changes here for El Paso.
Well, in some ways, I imagine energy is good. Beyond that, how they decide to make this into a tactical adjustment remains to be seen. Subs brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Diaz will retreat into his penalty area, away from Among. Sanupe got a yellow walking off for dissent. I think he knew at this point what's a yellow to him.
If you're gonna get it, you might as well get it while you're headed to the bench.
He didn't have a yellow all year.
He said, I'm not going out like this.
No.
He said, I'm not going out like this.
No, Sanupe said his piece, apparently. There's Calvillo. Jeff Attinella, Mike Watts. This is the Western Conference quarterfinal. This is the 2 and the 7 seed. The winner will see either Phoenix, the 6 seed, or San Diego, the 3 seed. El Paso would travel to either team. Orange County would host either team. That game being played tomorrow afternoon. And that'll be the final game in the championship's opening round. Calvillo won the title with this team. Some remarkable free kicks in his past. Rose. Alosi hard charging and got overtaken by Petrovic.
And this is where the game starts to get a little bit more interesting. Oh, Petrovic needs to calm down before he gets himself a yellow card here. But this is where the game starts to get a little bit more interesting, where El Paso is going to attack. They're going to open themselves up a little more, leave themselves a little bit more open, and it's going to leave the opportunity for Orange County to counter. And these recovery runs from players like Petrovic are going to be so important to slow them down.
Orange County getting a real chance. That ripped out of play defensively. A corner to come in front of the coalition. Think they're having a fun tonight?
I think they're having a great time. Quick restart there from Orange County. Able to find themselves behind the back line, create themselves another dangerous opportunity here on the set piece.
Drew Pathalone's corner kick to come for Orange County. The second goal totally changes the complexion. Lamb. Dogman. That is a goal kick. Orange County is going to make a change in short order, just not yet. Ball in behind, rolled to Shuttler, drives it away. Fans, still time to go and check out all the new merchandise for 2023. New women's collection, new sweatshirts, new OCSC quarter zip. Head over to OCSCshop.com, grab yours tonight. I don't know if you saw the Ducks and Orange County collaboration that they put out a couple weeks ago. Choice. Rumor is they'll have it when they do a similar night celebrating OCSC at the Ducks game in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
Or later in the season. I think they might, who knows, Orange County might be busy in a couple of weeks at this rate. Scott. Nodded along. Dolenmeyer. This provides the impetus for a sub. Kevin Langford coming in off the bench. The German replaces Bryce Jamison, who got robbed of a goal by Benny Diaz. Sub brought to you by MetaQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks.
A little bit move here. Good effort here from Jamison. He had a good night, good hard work. Bring some fresh legs, a little bit more of a body that can help ride this win out, keep this lead at a 1-0 score line. Good night there from the young man, Jamison.
And our match, number 17, Kevin Langford.
By the way, best way to ensure you're here for all the action for Orange County SC's 2024 USL Championship action by joining the season ticket members. As OCSC season ticket holders not only get their tickets at the lowest price point, they may get to see a goal just like this. Alas, Dolenmeyer kicks it away. They receive a merchandise discount, access to exclusive events, an exclusive gift, $50 deposit. You can place it today. OrangeCountySoccer.com/season-tickets to get started. Back-to-back sellouts here at the Champ. You know, talking with Morten Carlson, he said, man, the atmosphere unrivaled when we saw Oakland. It was a beer garden game. I said, Morten, they're drunk.
The
fans are drunk.
He said, I'm going to tell the staff to release the beers.
Release the beers.
That was a good
Put
one.
it on a T-shirt.
Release the beers. That would actually be a fantastic T-shirt.
Yes, it would. These games always seem to draw a pretty good crowd. That ball thiefed by Orange County at the halfway line. Alosi leads. Among pirouettes. It's a bit off his mark. El Paso the other way. Blazing a trail upfield, but that too far out of reach. You know, Petrovic has not been involved nearly enough for the caliber of player he is. And ultimately, you could say that about Aaron Gomez as well. Those two up front were Orange County's grandest concerns.
I think so far that El Paso's had a hard time just really settling into this game. They haven't really been able to establish that possession higher up the field. They haven't really been able to break lines, but I think a lot of that is credit to Orange County as well.
Among tried to return to Alosi. That was really bright stuff led by Dogman on the switch.
Orange County hasn't really given El Paso the time to really settle into this game. They haven't had the opportunity to get their foot on the ball, establish what they want to do in the possession, so you can find these players that are able to create and do these things for your team if you're El Paso. So I think it's a little bit of both things. El Paso hasn't had their best so far on top of the ball tonight, but Orange County has also made the life pretty hard for them.
You could argue this is the best chance that Knudson's seen since coming in, but his pass intercepted. That was a brief 3v3 moment. It broke down. Langford, down goes Scott.
You have to give credit to Orange County as well. They want to attack, and a lot of times when you attack like that, you leave yourself exposed, but they've always had three players ready to win the ball, ready to turn it over, so they're not outnumbered.
And here come numbers for Orange County from a long way out. Benny Diaz gives it away. Off the mark from Milan Alosi.
The ball turns over here. Alosi does the hard work. He picks his head up. He finds himself in a little bit of space. That ball is knuckling. Man, that ball is moving. Puts Diaz, I'm sure he was a little bit nervous as that ball's hit. Ooh, it looked like he might have got a little bit of touch to it. The referee didn't see it. It might have been a good save there from Diaz, but Alosi, he's just so dangerous. He turns the ball over, picks his head up. You give him a little bit of space, and he's able to hit a ball like that. It's going to make it a tough night for any goalkeeper.
Not in your life would you say, no, I got a touch to that. I want credit.
No, only in practice.
Is it true enough?
Only in practice.
Langford. El Paso last meeting September 9th did not record a shot on target. 7 attempts, nothing got to Shuttler in a 0-0 draw. 2 shots, nothing on target tonight. Yet Orange County felt like they were most bothered perhaps by El Paso than anybody in their pressure and inability to really hit home. 69th minute now. It's the free kick goal off a controversial no call. Led to a foul atop the penalty area in first half stoppage. Sees OCSC in the lead. Shuttler, knock him. Sacramento and New Mexico have just gone final. The 1 seed in the West survives. 1-0 the final. Sacramento advance. And they will get they get San Antonio at home next week, which for a long time looked like a 1-2 game in a conference final. It ends up being a 1-4 game.
Sometimes it's how it just shakes out.
Yeah, well, it's going to shake out to be a bloodbath. That one. Goodness. And of course, the winner of this game will see the winner of the other game that's tomorrow. So you get a little rest advantage in theory. If you're El Paso, you'll have to go to San Diego or Phoenix. Loyal or Rising would have to come here to Orange County, which makes me think that Nate Miller and Juan Guerra are keeping an eye on this game. They've got bigger fish to fry, but This may not be far down the line.
I love a good upset as much as the next person. I like a little bit of madness of things, but when you get those upset, those are the types of matchups that you miss out on. So that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one next week in the West. Ooh.
Appeal for a handball from Orange County and their fans. El Paso racing the other way. That was right at the edge of the penalty area, too. Kept away from Petrovic.
Yeah, that seemed a little bit close here. I think Orange County has a nice argument on this one.
We'll take a look in a moment as El Paso continues to press the gas here. It's going to be a two-pronged question. Was it in the box, and was it a handball? We'll answer that in a moment. Jeff will. I'll be along for the ride. There's a tackle, and this may give us just the chance we're looking for.
All right, well, let's go on that ride here. Let's see. Let's get a look at it here. Ball flicks up. Rose extends his arm. Absolutely a handball on this one. You can't have your arm detached from your body like that, especially with the new rules.
I'm going to guess not in the penalty area, right?
Honestly, I don't think Is it the feet? Is it the feet in the penalty area? Is it the hand in the area?
No, it's where the ball makes contact relative to the area, and the entire line counts. But based on where his foot is, which is clearly still outside the area, and his arm being above it, I'm inclined to think that's outside.
Man, that's a close one. We need some goal line technology for this handball.
Yeah.
It is close. It is close. I think that's on the edge of the box. Definitely a handball missed. Definitely a handball missed. Tough to tell if it's in the area or not, but certainly a handball.
And that's one where it's the referee's discretion. I'm from the angle, I'm thinking missed the initial handball at all, but whether it's in or out of the area, I mean, anyone's guess.
Yeah, I think that's out of the area. I think that'd be a free kick, but definitely a missed call. You can't extend your hand like that outside of your body, especially making contact with your arm.
Garcia comes in, grew up in El Paso, spent time in the Salt Lake Academy, signed a homegrown there, went to Sweden, came to El Paso last year. That's it for Josue Aaron Gomez. Sub brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Fourth change for the Locomotive. Comes with 18 minutes to make a difference. Good ball levied off, but siphoned off by Nakam. Hits the diag. There goes Petrovic. He did wonderful work to get this far. You wondered if that was advantage or no call at all.
Petrovic with a great touch to take his body inside, trying to find the ball on that dangerous right foot. Didn't look like there was too much contact, but anytime you see a player go down like that, it makes you wonder if there should have been a call or not. But that's what we need. That's what you need. El Paso needs that right now. They need to get the ball to their dangerous players who are able to create things by themselves and take players one-on-one. Petrovic with that big touch in. I don't see any foul there. I think that's a good no call there from the referee. Can't fault Petrovic for trying. He takes that big touch, loses possession of the ball, but that's what you need from El Paso. Get the ball to your players that are dangerous. Get the ball to the players that are able to create for themselves, because Orange County's doing a good job of having numbers behind the ball right now. Going to be tough to break down unless somebody does something creative.
Lamb angles down. Langford brings it back for Orange County. This is it. It's the last game of the night. 6 games. The West is chalk. 1 and 4 go through. San Antonio and Sacramento, 2 trying to hold on to a late lead. In the East, all 3 games prove upsets. Louisville the 5, Birmingham the 7, Detroit the 8. Yellow card.
You can tell their frustration starting to boil over here for El Paso a little bit. They feel a little bit hard done here by some calls that haven't gone their way.
This will go to Rose, yellow card, brought to you by SoCal Gas.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul. He gets a foot in later, but I think the yellow card comes for the argument that he's having with the referee.
Right. They played with and then played under Hutch and joined him in El Paso, now has outlasted him. Hung in the air from Alosi. Navarro, he goes down. Dogman the foul, 15 minutes to play. Calvillo.
It's a good ball there to break those lines.
Hines was available wide. They go central. Snipping around Kostishin. Outside Hines. Hines cuts. Hines. Oh! Dummy through in front of goal. One touch could have been it for El Paso. That is brutal.
Oh, what a good job here by Hines. They do a great job in the build-up here, breaking lines. They do everything right, getting creative on top of the box, taking players on, slips the ball wall to Hines, and look what he does here. A little bit of nifty footwork, picks his head up, sees his teammate right in front of the, oh, he went for the outside of the foot. Put your foot through the ball and tap it into the net. Hines does all the dirty work here. Great look, picks his head up, and it's just a little outside of the foot flick. Oh, you'd love to see the player open up his body, tap it in. Just a sitter there, able to create something finally for El Paso. Not able to capitalize on the opportunity.
It's offside. It was Knudsen, his 8th appearance for the club without a goal. And what a goal that would have been.
Oh, Hines does all the dirty work there. Does a great job picking his head up. So many times you'll see a player just try to smash that on target, make the goalkeeper makes a save. He picks his head up, but instead of opening up his body and just tapping it in like a pass, he goes for the outside of the foot flick. Oh, and he ends up missing it.
Wrong side of Knudsen. He's chasing it now.
Man, Orange County has to feel so lucky to dodge one there. It's the first opportunity that they've given El Paso all game in front of the box. They were a little bit split. They weren't able to cut out those passing lanes. Their lines were getting broken just by one pass. They allowed El Paso to finally get behind them. It's taken all night. It's taken 77 minutes for El Paso to get behind. Unfortunately, they're not able to finish it off.
And still, they don't have a shot on target.
Man, he worked that hard.
Shuttler, who's thanking whatever deity he believes in right now. Hines.
That should be a wake-up call for Orange County because they got a little bit stretched. I think they're pressing for that second goal, which of course, you love a team being aggressive and trying to end it yourself. But as this game goes on, as El Paso gets a little bit more desperate, you don't want to find yourself stretched like that. You want to find yourself compact, make them break you down the hard way.
Into Kasipli. Scott. That'll be out of the reach of McHugh.
Firing up the crowd behind the net. Getting the energy back into this place.
True Path Loans corner. There is some genuine excitement around this Orange County club. I've seen a lot of quiet nights here. This is not that. It has grown all year long. They can really get this place to shake on its bearings if they can find another. So El Paso team in pursuit of an equalizer dating back to first half stoppage time. Milan Alosi free kick had Diaz beat. The set piece play from Orange County has been really dynamic. Lamb offers. That didn't get over that first defender.
Probably the first set piece all night that hasn't reached its target. That's really given El Paso a little bit of trouble.
How about Knockham and Garcia getting acquainted?
Yeah, I was wondering. I couldn't see it on the live play, but I saw him laying on the ground.
I saw you pointing like, how's 10 minutes to go. Lankford. Handled by Hines. That had to be perfect. It was not. It is Among. Advantage played. Among! Diaz! If El Paso wins it, Diaz the legend. Incredible save.
He's been up to the task here in the second half, hasn't he? A dangerous ball from El Paso's back line creates this opportunity for Among, who's also had a fantastic night. He probably feels like he deserves to be on the score sheet for the night that he's put in, but Diaz is up to the task. He gets that big push. When Among takes that touch inside, Diaz shuffles his feet. He's able to get 2 hands to it, put the ball out for a safe rebound. That's 3 here in the second half. Keeping his team in it, Diaz is in the second half so far.
Crowd right behind this El Paso guarded goal. True Path Loans corner, into the air, Diaz.
Talked about it earlier, but the El Paso defense tonight has just been a little bit shaky with their feet. Taking some unnecessary risks, putting their goalkeeper in tough situations. They've been pretty fortunate that it hasn't come back to bite them, but in the playoffs, those are things that you just can't do. You don't want to take those unnecessary risks, especially in the back line with the ball at your feet.
Obvious foul. Calvillo climbed like a ladder by Casipli, former teammates. Brian Aloski's night is done. Andrew Fox, they'll bring in another defender and try and see it out now. The sub brought to you by MediQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Second sub.
It was a great shift from Brian Aloski. He's done a good job creating. Oh, they're giving him a little push off the field, trying to help him off the field. It was a good shift from Brian Aloski. He did a good job creating, breaking lines, really getting after the back line. High-fiving all the new owners.
Yeah, right.
It's always good to be nice to ownership.
Can carry you a long way in this business. Ball forward from Calvillo. That kept alive. Chicken wing into the ball. That's a tad obvious.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
El Paso this year, 1 goal scored, 7 allowed in the final 15 minutes of their games. Brock.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that one.
It's late, Jeff. It's so late. Header down. That's asking some unnecessary questions from Garcia. Did end up getting the tug. El Paso, the only Western Conference playoff team with a negative goal difference. They get in on the last day, a 2-1 win at Oakland. In the process, knocking Oakland out. Oakland 3 losses in a row to conclude all the playoff teams. That's how they failed to get in. And Brian Clairhout said from day one the goal was to get here. And once you're here, after showing a consistent playoff product over the year, who knows? Foul 1 by Castician. El Paso set piece in the 85th.
Yeah, don't rush this here. These are opportunities that you need to value. Good service here is important. You don't get many chances like this, especially tonight so far for El Paso.
El Paso have managed to get results, conceding the opening goal on the road 3 of 7 times this year. Ball forward, nodded away, comes to Rose, leans it wide. Rose again. Rose crossing, leaping into that header. Steered out, corner. And Petrovic and Kostishin come over. It'll be Petrovic. Does he have that little bit of special in that foot tonight? Petrovic swings away. Never got to Navarro. Recycled. We've seen what Hines can do. He's won a corner off of Langford. Or did he? Hines can't believe it. Goal kick. And Scott.
Hines has been dynamic anytime he's gotten on the end of the ball.
Well, Petrovic just got a yellow card. He's had enough. That's 4 cards to El Paso players. Let's quickly see, is this a corner? There goes Langford.
I think the ref missed another one there. Petrovic earned that yellow card, but rightfully so.
And we don't get the best look, but from that angle, sure looked like that hit twice off of Langford. That's a foul. That'll come with a card. We've gotten to that point. Scott trying to gum up the works here late.
A lot of cards flying around here late in this game.
That's the first one an Orange County player has gotten tonight. Brought to you by SoCal Gas. Can El Paso extend this game, extend their season? Kostishin from way downtown. Does not challenge Shuttler. They have played now approaching 180 minutes here in Orange County and don't have a single shot on frame.
Picks his head up. He's from far out. A little bit ambitious there. I would like to see them build that ball up a little bit more, maybe dump it in the box when you're able to throw those big numbers forward. But we've gone this long without getting a shot on target. I don't mind somebody trying to make something happen in terms of getting a shot on goal. Maybe we can draw a rebound or take a deflection on its way towards the goal mouth.
Hines, 100 ticks and stoppage to go. Only the free kick goal by Alosi separates these two. Ball intercepted, but came right back to Rose. Dolenmeyer. Dribble through on his own. Orange County slink into their block. Ball bouncing. Shuttler paid the price. He won a free kick off of Kostishin.
That's a good bit of goalkeeping there from Shuttler. He hasn't really been called into action much tonight, but he's switched on. He's reading the play, able to close this ball out. It's an aggressive play off his line, but he does a good job helping out his defense dealing with this deflected ball. Nothing too malicious there from the forward from El Paso, but good job by Shuttler reading the play, coming off of his line. Not easy to do, not easy to stay engaged as a goalkeeper when you've gone through 90 minutes. You really haven't had too much action. You haven't really had to do too much, but good job there reading the through ball.
This is like for like. Brent Richards on for Owen Lamb. Sub brought to you by MetaQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. That is the third and final window for Orange County. If it goes to extra time, they would be able to use their 2 subs plus the additional third with the window they'd be granted. Lamb did his job tonight, and what a job it was. The wide players for El Paso are fear-inducing, and tonight they've largely been held silent. 5 added minutes. We're fully after dark now.
Let's get weird. Time for El Paso to start throwing numbers in the box. You haven't had much success establishing your possession in that build-up, but for me, when you're able to get on this ball, this is where you have the center backs flying forward. Put your center backs as your 9. Start getting a little bit desperate here.
Hines. Ball taken away by Among illicitly. Free kick El Paso. Too soon, surely, to bring Diaz short. And here they go. 4 minutes remaining. There's the diag. This will get out for a corner. You bring in a goalkeeper with 3.5 minutes?
I think it's still a little bit too early for the goalkeeper to come up, but everybody outside of the goalkeeper should be up in the box right now. I'd have Diaz come up to half line. Oh, they don't listen to me.
There he is. He's in red. Everyone else defending is in orange. Could Diaz get lost in the shuffle? Corner to the top of the area. Rose! A blast. The net is empty. Rose heads that back into play. Diaz goes sprinting back out toward the halfway line. Diaz exposed. A run. Slides. Free kick. Red card. Diaz is off, catching Alosi from behind.
Just absolute pandemonium here in the last couple minutes in Orange County. Off the set piece, Rose gets a good look. Rose gets a good look off of the set piece, but if you're going to throw your goalkeeper up, if you're going to be throwing all these numbers up, not dumping the ball in the box, you're going to run a risk, and this is where all chaos just breaks out. Should have let the ball go out of play there. Instead of letting the ball go out of play, he keeps it in bounds. They try to recycle this, and then the ball turns over. And then you have Alosi, who's the best player, one of the best players in the league, going 1v1 against a goalkeeper who's 50 yards out of his box. Diaz does what he has to, makes a challenge on the play. He knows that he's beat. He knows Alosi's going to score. The season's on the line. Brings him down. Red card for being the last defender. And just absolute pandemonium here in Orange County to end this game.
And you might think, did Hines pull even? I've had a referee describe it, and I thought this was the most clear way to describe Dogso. Once the foul happens, take the player that was involved in the foul out of the play, and now is there a clear path to goal?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is absolutely a red card. It's a situation where you know Alosi is going to score. Diaz is the last man back there. He's trying to make a recovery effort. Alosi has a one-on-one with an empty net, and Diaz brings him down from behind. But, you know, if you're Diaz, that's what you have to do in that situation. It's a 1-0 game. You're in the playoffs, and that's the only solution when you're put in that situation. But
how about this? They used the triple sub, and they made an additional change at the 72nd. They did not burn their third window, nor their fifth sub. So Javier Garcia comes in for his first minutes of the entire year. And he's staring down the barrel of what's going to be most likely a short free kick. We're going to go way past the 5, probably to 6 or 7, you'd think. Among trying to wrangle this into the corner. He goes down, free kick. Even Scott saying, Thomas, you're better off getting up now.
We asked before that sequence if you would have brought the goalkeeper up that early, and for me, it was always one of those things where if you think that there's an opportunity that you can create another corner kick, you can create another opportunity if the situation doesn't come off, then you stay home. Leave the goalkeeper at home, push other people up, protect yourself a little bit, because the second that you give up that second goal, that's when the game's over. So there are still 5 minutes left in the game when they drew that initial corner kick. So, and instead now you put your team in almost an impossible situation where the goalkeeper's picking up a red card, and now it's just a lot of time wasted, and now it's just really waiting to the end of the game. Oh, hopefully things don't get ugly here. It's been a good game so far. Hopefully things don't get too ugly.
Richards has gotten in the middle of it. See Langford barking. Knudson's being pulled away. Dogman got pushed down. You can see Rose trying to pull this apart. And the clock keeps on ticking, and maybe we've played, what, 3.5 minutes of the 5 in terms of actual ball in play.
Yeah, I think this might be a situation where the ref might. Of course, it's a playoff game. You want to get the minutes in, but you don't want this thing to get too ugly.
Here we go. Yellow card, Calvillo. One of the few that was not on a card. Dolenmeyer on a yellow. Rose, Petrovic on yellows. There's the restart. Does El Paso get that one chance? Free kick El Paso, it's got to be now. It has to be now. Down a man, seeking a miracle to keep their season alive. Free kick, Orange County. And that is it! Milan Aloski's goal stands the test of time. Orange County moving on. They will host San Diego or Phoenix. A game filled with controversy. And El Paso come up short.
Credit to Orange County. They were up to the task tonight, and to be fair, they did everything right. They played the game that they wanted to play. They were sound defensively. They were able to get out El Paso in the attack, and then they found their best player, Milan Aloski, in dangerous areas where he was able to create himself opportunities and create goals for Orange County, and they used the home field advantage to their side. If you're El Paso, you will feel a little bit hard done on the goal that they gave up, but I think at the end of the day, you know that you didn't bring your best stuff. You're a little bit sloppy around the back, and you didn't bring your A game in a playoff game. In a very difficult place to play. Taking a look here at Milan Aloski. He had a great game, and he is our man of the match tonight. He had a great game, great finish here, drew the foul, but look at this finish, what he's able to do. Drives a free kick across his body, catches Diaz leaning, but with so much traffic, with the ball hit with that much pace, it's going to be hard for any goalkeeper to save. He was the X factor tonight. We knew it coming into the game that if Orange County's going to have a chance in these playoffs, that Milan Aloski was going to have to step up, and that's exactly what he did tonight.
The man of the match is presented by Uber Eats, and Aloski's tenure in Orange County extends another week to the conference semifinals next weekend. It'll be in Orange County. It will be either San Diego or Phoenix. That'll be decided tomorrow. We've got a lot to wrap up here. The Pulse game upcoming, presented by True Path Loans. El Paso, half chances galore, but they get nothing on frame. And Aloski clinical in that one vital moment. Pulse game is coming up next.
Every person has inherent existing potential. Each one of us can move better, feel better, and perform better. Our goal is to create a movement culture that facilitates thriving, challenges the norms, and optimizes the human experience by providing the highest quality physical therapy. Whether you're returning to sport or simply seeking to live your best life, reimagine physical therapy. Discover your potential.
Orange County, a third straight clean sheet. The first time they've done that since 2018. First win against El Paso since 2019. And advance in the playoffs for the first time since winning it all in 2021. In this hazy, hazy place with Jeff Mike. True Path Loans postgame. Let's get you caught up with all the highlights. It's brought to you by Turf Gym in Newport Beach. It all starts in 45+1. It's the missed foul here on Chapa Herrera by Scott. It's the foul whistled here on Navarro, and then Milan does the rest.
Milan Alosi with a great finish here. We talked about this all night, how Milan Alosi was going to be the X factor in this game, and this was really the turning point in this game. I think El Paso, once this happened with the referee, they started getting a little bit more frustrated with the ref, and then Aloski's able to finish that goal off at the end of the first half, which is time to build momentum. But in the second half, Diaz, the goalkeeper for El Paso, made save after save to do his best to keep this team in it. There he is on the corner kick, sprawling out to his right to get a hand on it. And here he is, Milan Aloski's able to turn the ball over. A little bit of sloppy passing here from El Paso, but does a good job staying balanced, able to get his foot on it, and really did a good job keeping his team in this game the entire second half. 2 or 3 massive saves from Diaz as this game went on. His night got a little more interesting towards the end, but we'll talk about that later. And here we go here, another opportunity here for El Paso. The ball slips in, and this was the best this is the best opportunity, really the only opportunity that El Paso had all night. Hands does all of the hard work, and instead of opening up your body and just passing the ball into the back of the net, we go for the outside of the foot finish, and the ball bounces over the outside of the foot. Had everything to aim for there, and that was really El Paso's only chance of the evening. And here's where things got a little bit nutty. Diaz comes out of the net for a corner kick. He's asking the coaches, should I come up? Apparently they said yes. They throw the ball off. Rose drives the ball across, and here's where things get a little bit crazy. The sequence here, the ball almost goes out of bounds. El Paso decides to keep it in bounds. Diaz is trying to make this recovery run. Eventually the ball finds the feet of Milan Alosi here as the ball clearance happens, and good first touch here around Diaz. He goes around the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper brings him down, which, that was going to be a 2-0 lead. As the last defender denying a goal-scoring opportunity, Diaz draws the red card to end a very eventful night for the goalkeeper. And a solid night for Orange County. They did their job. They did everything right tonight. And at the end of the day, they're moving on, and I think it's rightfully deserved.
IPA Physio presents your newly minted Western Conference playoff bracket. Chalk, chalk, chalk. Now San Diego hosts Phoenix tomorrow night.
Yeah, top teams out here in the West doing their thing in the first round of the playoffs. San Diego will have a tough task for them with Phoenix coming into town, but San Diego has a lot to play for. Phoenix has been on a roll here as of late, so I'm excited to see that game tomorrow night. Should be an exciting playoffs, and I think we're going to have an awesome next round based off the seasons and the teams that have had success so far in the Western Conference.
Enjoyed it, buddy.
Yeah, it was fun. Always a pleasure, Mike.
Gnarly enjoyed it too. So the fans here. Their tenure at this venue extended for 10 years, and this year it's now extended for at least one more week. An up-and-down performance from Benny Diaz, some truly spectacular, but Milan Alosi finds the goal that proves the difference. For Jeff Attinella, entire team at OC and beyond, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. Orange County wins it. They'll see San Diego or Phoenix next week. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Milan Alosi!